I declare war. So those of you who are subscribed to my New Possibilities channel know that I did a video about the Michael Cohen hearings and some statements that he made about Donald Trump. And he basically said that Donald Trump was a racist. And he cited like 3 racist things that Donald Trump said in his presence. And basically to rebut that point, you know, to rebut the argument that Donald Trump is a racist, you had this white man, this white representative by the name of Meadows, who paraded out a black woman by the name of Lynne Patton as a prop to basically use this woman as a pawn to say that Donald Trump is not a racist. He literally used this woman as a token to prove that Donald Trump was not a racist. You know, he said that this woman indicated that she had parents from the South and all that kind of stuff, and based on that experience, she would never work for a racist person. And, you know, he basically used this woman as a prop. And when I saw that, you know, I thought about several things, man. And that's this, you know, the first thing is this, man, these racist white people don't have any problem with black people working for them, with black people being the help. They don't have any problem with black people shining their shoes and kissing their asses, man. And I'm going to show you this image that somebody shared on Facebook. And I think that it speaks to the heart of this, man. Just bear with me. I'm going to share my screen for a second. And then I'm going to respond to some things that she said in the interview. This woman did an interview trying to defend herself after she had come under attack by several people. The slave master had black people working, literally working for him from sun up to sundown, man. He had no problem having black people work for him, being his butlers and maids and servants. Just like this image says here. You know, he has this slave in front of him, holding this slave out and saying, I'm not racist, look at my black employee. And that's basically what this representative did, Meadows. He paraded out this Negro Mammy to rebut the argument that Donald Trump is a racist. When I saw this woman out there, you know, parading before the people like a prop, like a stage prop, I thought about the Mammies that they used in Hollywood that love to serve the master well, all happy to see the slave master, all happy to be a damn slave. That's what I immediately thought about. You know, singing, eyes all bucked out, happy to serve the white man, happy to serve the white woman. That's what I thought about when I saw this lady paraded out before members of Congress. And then this woman has the nerve to do an interview on Fox, one of the most racist networks in America, defending this coonery, defending this minstrel show that she put on for America to see. That's what she reminded me of, this Mammy right here. So let me go to this article. I will include a link to this article in the description box. So this woman basically tried to defend herself. She went on to say she wasn't there to represent an entire race of people. She was there to represent one man, and that's Donald Trump, to protect his reputation, to rebut charges of racism. That's what she was there to do. That's what she claimed. She wasn't there to represent a race. But the fact of the matter is they used her race to try to rebut any allegation that Donald Trump is a racist. And let's get to what Michael Cohen said about Donald Trump. He said that Donald Trump said that this, he basically asked a question. He said, name a country run by a black person that is not a shithole. This is what Donald Trump's own lawyer said that Donald Trump said. This is a man that knows Donald Trump well. This is a white man, you know, somebody that Donald Trump probably felt real comfortable being his real self around. Somebody that he felt comfortable letting his racism show. Of course, he's not going to like blatantly say racist things in front of black people. He's going to say it with somebody that he feels comfortable around. So he said, name a country run by a black person that's not a shithole. And he said this again when Obama was in the White House. And then he also talked about, you know, Michael Cohen talked about how they were driving through a rough area of Chicago. And Donald Trump said only black people could live this way. Donald Trump also said black people are too stupid to vote for him. This is what this man is on the record saying to his own attorney. This is what he said. But yet you got this buck dancing coon right here, this Mammy out here serving as a buffer Negro, serving as some kind of prop to protect Donald Trump from charges of racism. And it's not like it's just these three statements that make the argument or, you know, make it clear that Donald Trump is a racist. Those aren't the only things that make it clear that Donald Trump is a racist. There are so many other things that this man has done that's racist and said that are racist. You know, there was a report that this man referred to Africa and Haiti as shithole countries. We all saw his response to Charlottesville. And we remember what happened in Charlottesville. You had white supremacists and white nationalists basically engaging in a protest and engaging in violent activity. You had one white supremacist ram his car into a crowd of people, killing one person. You had another white supremacist firing his gun into a crowd of people. You had another group of white supremacists beat a black man to the point where his head was gushing with blood. But in Donald Trump's mind, there's some very fine people on both sides. That's how he described these people. But this Mammy here wants us to believe that Donald Trump is not a racist. You know, she pointed to unemployment being low in the black community under Trump. She talked about some criminal justice reform and some token money given to HBCUs. But there's an article about Donald Trump meeting with these HBCU presidents and then basically throwing them under the bus afterwards. And when I get a chance, I'll post that article in the description box so that you can read it for yourself, how he basically played those HBCUs out, pimped them out, used them for a photo op. But yet you got this buck dancing woman on here defending this man, a man who openly panders to white supremacists. A man who pandered to the Klan, who pandered to the alt-right, who pandered to these neo-Nazis. It is no coincidence that the Klan endorsed this man. It's no coincidence that the alt-right endorsed this man. It is no coincidence that people like David Duke and Richard Spencer endorsed this man. But yet you got this ignoramus, this buffoon on here talking about Donald Trump is not a racist, who allowed herself to be used as an object, used as a damn object. Just like a pawn, like when you're playing chess, you use pawns on that board to help you win a game. And that's basically how this congressman used this woman, like a pawn, like literally like a political football. And this woman didn't have any problem being kicked around and thrown around on the field for this racist ass Donald Trump and for this racist congressman, Mark Meadows. And after this whole thing came out where he was like trying to rebut some assertions made by this other congressperson, you know, by the name of, I think, let's see, let me get her name right. I think her name is, Rashida Tlaib. Yeah, so she made statements accusing this guy of racism and he's trying to deny it. He's trying to act like he's all insulted and stuff, when it turns out that this man was a part of that racist birther movement that basically said that Obama was from some other country. And he talked about sending Obama back to Kenya. This is what this man talked about. And he wants us to believe that he's not a racist. And it's sad that, you know, even though Elijah Cummings does great things, man, Elijah Cummings was cooning. His name might as well have been Elijah Coonings when it comes to this particular Republican that used this black woman as a prop. He basically threw this congresswoman under the bus when she charged this guy Mark Meadows with racism. But anyway, let me get back to this whole racist Donald Trump. I mean, you got this woman saying that Donald Trump is not a racist when the Justice Department sued this man twice for housing discrimination. You got this woman talking about Donald Trump is not a racist when Donald Trump referred to black protesters as sons of bitches. You got this buffoon talking about Donald Trump is not a racist when Donald Trump was encouraging his supporters to attack black protesters. What the hell is wrong with this woman? You got this woman saying that Donald Trump is not a racist when this guy set up this voter sham commission basically designed to suppress black and Latino voters. When this guy is going after affirmative action, trying to tear down affirmative action. Instead of using the Justice Department to protect our civil rights, this man is using the Justice Department as a weapon against civil rights, as a weapon against affirmative action. And you got this buck dancing Mammy who probably benefited from affirmative action actually on here defending this guy, Donald Trump, making a complete fool and ass out of herself, defending this guy. And she had the nerve to say that Donald Trump doesn't see color or race or creed. All he sees is success or failure. All he sees is success or failure. Tell that to those black men, young men that were accused of rape in Central Park. Tell that to them when Donald Trump took out a full-page ad basically calling for the death penalty to be used against them. And to this day, even after they have been exonerated, this man has refused to apologize. Tell them that Donald Trump is not a racist. Tell the person that quoted Donald Trump as saying that he doesn't want black people counting his money. Tell that person that Donald Trump is not a racist. You know, and one thing that Michael Cohen pointed out during this particular hearing, he talked about how even though Donald Trump hired some people, you know, hired a few black people in token positions, the fact of the matter is, like, none of the executives in Donald Trump's company are black. So that speaks volumes, man. And it's like this woman just reminds me of this slave right here being used as a prop. But at least this person in this movie, Django, she was a slave. She was forced to do something. But today, this modern Negro, house Negro slave, he's a volunteer. I mean, they are volunteers nowadays. They're glad to play the role of the slave. They're glad to be used as a prop. And they actually get up here and try to defend this stuff, man. And this is the exact quote that this representative used, Mark Meadows used. He said, she says, as a daughter of a man born in Birmingham, Alabama, there's no way that she would work for an individual who was racist. But I'm sitting here showing you all the examples of his racism. But yet this woman is claiming that he's not a racist and there's no way that she could work with a racist when this man is on record being a racist. On record referring to people as, that's my African-American over there. Just like somebody saying, that's my house, or that's my car, or that's my slave over there. Man, it's just a shame, man. And it's just a shame that, like, this guy, I mean, Elijah Cummings didn't stand up for this woman who basically made the point that this guy Meadows is a racist for using this woman as a prop. And then you got this black woman using herself, allowing somebody to use her as a prop. It's a shame when it has to be an Arab person to be more courageous to speak out about racism than the two black people there, the two black people that were in that particular situation, talking about this stuff or being used as props. You know, and this woman's talking about she would never work for a racist. Well, that's exactly what you're doing. You're working for a racist, and by defending this guy, by serving as a Negro buffer, you are acting like a modern-day Judas. Now, another point that she made was that she was talking about how she's an educated black woman who's accomplished all these things, and she went on to talk about how Michael Cohen is a liar and a criminal, basically, and for people to take his word over her word, that's what really is racist. And first of all, I'll be perfectly clear. Like, I understand why, you know, why people question whether or not this guy is legitimate and stuff, because he is somebody that's lied to Congress. He is somebody that's being disbarred. He is somebody that's obviously been dishonest and stuff like that. So I can understand why somebody is questioning, you know, his credibility. I get that. I completely understand that. But when you look at the circumstances right now, like, what incentive does he have to lie right now? He's already going to jail. What incentive does he have to lie to add more jail time to his sentence? You know, he's lying. I mean, if he is lying, it doesn't help him at all. At all. There's no benefit that he gets from lying at this point. You know, so this woman put up this on her Instagram saying she's highly educated. She's not a racist. She's not low information. She's a professional. She's not brainwashed. I mean, this woman is brainwashed. Anybody that will defend a racist, somebody that openly panders to white supremacists, is brainwashed, does suffer from Stockholm syndrome. I can't understand how any rational black person can support Donald Trump, a man who referred to Africa, the place where we come from, as a shithole place. So let me see if there's anything else. So yeah, so she was trying to say, well, she's more credible just as an educated black woman, and it's racist to say that, you know, to take Michael Cohen's word over her word, but she is an employee for Donald Trump. She has an incentive to defend this man. And I think that she is willfully ignorant. She is willfully blind to Donald Trump's racism. She doesn't want to see it. She doesn't want to acknowledge it. So she ignores it. She ignores it, and she sees what she wants to see. But here you have a man that's about to go to jail who at this point has no incentive to lie. I believe his word over her word, especially given Donald Trump's long track record of racism, all the things that I cited earlier. So yeah, when I look at those two situations, when I look at the circumstances, yes, I'll believe a Michael Cohen over some buck dancing sycophant any day of the week. So with that, I'm gonna have to close out. I gotta get to work. Please rate, comment, and subscribe to this channel. You know, like the video, share the video. If you're not subscribed to my New Possibilities channel, subscribe to that channel as well. So let me just check in with you all before I sign out. I want to shout people out. I'm not going to have time to read your comments, unfortunately. I got to get to work. Shout out to my man, Water Sniper. Oh, I gotta look into that MA. I heard something about that. Like, I saw another YouTuber saying it's not a good look. I'm gonna have to look at the trailer for that. Shout out to Chance X. Shout out to Wes. Thanks for tuning in. So with that, I'm gonna say peace and blessings. And shout out to Wish4. With that, I'm gonna say peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Please rate, comment, and subscribe.